This is my response to question set one. Question one: do you consider the Hermetic tradition a true science? Not really. I think that any true science kind of has, a hypothesis, and you can, or a theory, and you can kind of, may not be 100%, but you can kind of use empirical evidence and things that you find and study to prove or really support that hypothesis or theory. And I think it kind of boils down to having kind of concrete, tangible solutions and conclusions. So I wouldn't actually consider it a true science. I just kind of think that science as a term kind of gets thrown around a little bit, in the way that, people kind of substitute it for studying anything. It's the science of this or the science of that, when by definition it may not, in my mind anyways, doesn't necessarily fit. Question two: do you think the Hermetic tradition was actually called something else in today's world? Yeah, I would say it's kind of like religion, philosophy, and kind of more esoteric and abstract thought. I think that's what kind of it evolved into. Question three: how has religion shaped the study of science over time? I think that, back in the 1600s and before, and all throughout history, religion helped explain things that, couldn't be explained. We didn't, they didn't know how the earth was created or how it formed back in the day. So, there are all these creation stories from many of the different religions, and that sort of thing. So I think eventually, when science advanced, we were able to explain a lot of what we saw around us in the world. So I think back then it was kind of backward looking, and they were trying to figure out the world around them. And now I feel like because we got past that, some people have gotten past that. Now science kind of looks a little more forward. What can we discover? What's next? And it's a lot less, trying to figure things out. Question four: can you see a difference between what is studied today and what was studied 500 years ago, and when the influence of religion was greater? I think I kind of answered that in the last question. I think that back then they studied what they saw, and they tried to figure out the world around them. And when the influence of religion is greater, I still think religion has probably even too much influence still today, and that kind of we still have all these flat earthers and climate change deniers, and that's a lot of it has to do with religion. So I think say that religion was much more influential back then. I think it's still really influential today. But yeah, I think that at a certain point it turned, and we study things now that enrich our lives, whether it be medical convenience, for like medical use. We're trying to like save lives and stuff like that. Some science is just purely based in making humans' lives easier, more productive. Some science is for profit. So I think religion has always been there, but as civilization has progressed, our priorities in science have changed.